Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan, and I am joined by the other Dan, Sakimoto24. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, and having a pretty good day.
Pretty good.
How are you?
I'm doing well as well. I see you are drinking a nice, refreshing looking beverage per your request. I also have one. It is a local stout, as the name might suggest. So what are you imbibing tonight?
Um, this this is the closest thing I had to beer. I actually didn't have any beer.
That's fair.
Yeah, I've been kind of doing a challenge that pretty much no drinking for a little bit. I lose some weight, but this is the closest thing I had. It's like a fruit punch type of liqueur thing.
Very nice, very nice. Sakimoto, why don't you tell us a little bit about your draft background that you had prior to getting involved with the Premier League?
Yeah. Let's see. I probably discovered draft leagues sometime during 2020, and I don't know how long they've existed, but um, yeah, I would when I discovered they existed. Um, Goomer and I had been looking for a bunch, um, and if anyone doesn't know who Goomer is, he's also in this league. He's also my brother. Um, but we had been trying to scout for a draft league, and I think he found one. It was like a showdown league. Um, Very weird format, but it was like the first one we found, and we joined it. I think Gumi was in there as well, but it was like like best of one 6v6 with and you could only Dynamax your G Max pick. Um, it was a weird league. I played a couple seasons of that. It was fun though, and that was a nice introduction to draft. And then um, I've only ever played doubles. Then I'm also in a draft league. I guess the next one I joined was called the VDL. Um, that's just like a VGC league, which I've had a lot of fun in. And I think the only other draft leagues I've played in is like High Roller one season recently, and then the Multi Battle Conference, and then this.
Awesome, awesome. So did you have a background in like VGC before draft leagues, or was draft league sort of your gateway into it because you played in the recent regional, if I remember correctly, right?
I did, yeah, I did play that. I played in the Indie Regional. That was my first VGC event, like in person event, which was a lot of fun, by the way. Um, Sad you couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Um, it was cool. I mean, I was like a couple miles from the event, so if I couldn't make that one,
Right.
I don't know. I had to go. I didn't know. I didn't really have a VGC background before, like at all. I didn't even know competitive Pokemon existed until like sometime in 2020 when playing Sword and Shield. So um, I would do. I mean, I tried for. I played in like the qualifiers for what's it called? Yeah, Players Cup. I think I was pretty close to making the top. Was it 256 or something that make it?
Yeah.
I think I was pretty close a few times, but no, I didn't go. Not much of a BGC background, to be honest. BGC is its own monster.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit of a different beast entirely. But you were talking about the MBC, the VDL, the Jinky 6v6 league where you can only Dynamax one Pokemon. What's been your favorite draft league format that you've played in?
Oh man, honestly, it's so hard to choose. I was thinking about that earlier. I don't know if I could choose because there's things from each of them that I really liked. Um, like, so the first draft league I was in, I think the 6v6 format was fun in its own right, but and I was really successful in that, so I liked that because it was like my introduction to draft league, so that has a special place in my heart, I guess. But I would have to say I don't know if I could choose like a single format or a single league that I would just pick as the best or stay with forever and not play any others. But I will say I think the most fun I've had playing Draft League was the one season of the BC or Multi Battle Conference that I played with Goomer. That was like the peak of fun in Pokemon and Draft.
And winning doesn't hurt, right?
Winning definitely helped, but even if we didn't win, it definitely would have been the most fun.
Yeah. I'm in my first full NBC season. We're going on right now, and it's pretty interesting. And going up against the defending champ week one was definitely a baptism by fire in terms of getting ready for it. So thank you for going easy on me that week.
Dan. You guys had some. That was fun. You guys had a good plan. We figured you would. You won the NBCE, didn't you?
Yeah, Gumi and I did, but that's not everyone was taking that super seriously. And
oh, really?
Yeah, so this is I feel like this season in the NBC is going to be much more serious. NBCE, since it was just try out the rules. I know Matt and Anthony, for example, they just sort of Matt prepped. Anthony showed up one day. He's like, well, what are we playing each time? Like, what Pokemon are we bringing? Like, so it definitely wasn't as competitive a season, I don't think, as this one's shaping up to be. But speaking of competitive season, in the PDPL this season, you and I are both currently sitting at a toasty 2-4. Although you've cranked out 2 pretty dominant wins in a row after a bit of a rough start. So I guess this is a bit of a multi-part question. First, how do you feel about your team and how you drafted? And second, how do you feel about your performance and how it's changed throughout the season?
There's a lot. There's a lot there. I've had a roller coaster of a season. I'd never had such a bad start to a season. My team, I really like my team. Like, in terms of how much I like my team, it's at least an 8 out of 10. But in terms of how strong it is, I'm still not sure. I can't tell if I'm it's missing some key components, or if I'm not playing it as well as I could. Because at times it feels really strong, and then at times it doesn't. I really enjoy it though, and I usually don't make a draft plan when I draft. I kind of just draft. Like, personally, I just draft like a strong sweeper, and I just go from there. But season I had a little bit more of a plan, and I wanted to try out Tyranitar really bad. Yeah. But I mean, as far as how the season's gone, started 0-4, so not a great start. Not a great start. I was flustered. It wasn't. And a lot of it, I think, was just purely. I don't think I got RNG hacks or anything like that. It was purely. A lot of it, was just me. I don't want to take any credibility away from my opponents, because they played to their outs and they played to beat me. But yeah, I've goofed in prep and play quite a few times early in the season. Yeah, I gen the wrong Stoutland.
Yeah, that was. I was watching that live on your Twitch. That was a devastating moment. All the Fs were in the chat.
All the Fs. I went to I blocked out my schedule, because I was like, man, this is gonna be so fun. I get to play my brother in PDPL. I'm just gonna chill out tonight. I went to I think I went out for dinner by myself and had a drink maybe, and then came back here. I was ready. It's the only thing on my mind for the evening. And then I get into the battle, and the first thing I see is gen the wrong Stoutland, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know what to do. And then I played horrible too. So it wasn't just the Stoutland, but. Yeah, and then I kept a couple big misplays. Looking back, but it's, especially when you're not winning. For me, it's easy to get caught. It's easy to get caught in that vortex of how I could have optimized my play and what I could have done differently. And I could think about that for so long, and I try to not get caught in that too much. But yeah, it definitely was good for my confidence to get a couple wins in the past couple weeks. It feels like. Have already started for me. You probably feel the same.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think for you, it was potentially even bigger than normal, because you were the last winless team and you beat the last undefeated team with a very convincing 2-0 as well. So I think that showed a lot of the parity that's going on in the league. So I think that was definitely a big week for everyone involved.
That I needed that win very bad. I think you're right. I think that goes to show how competitive this league is. And I guess just going back to what I was just talking about with, it kind of having a rough start and all those things, I felt like, this you can't get away with free wins in this league. Like,
Right.
there's no. I mean, if I'm, you gotta. It feels like I have to play at least 90% to have a chance. I mean, I know there are other leagues or other players you can play against that. Sometimes you goof up and prep or play, and you maybe play like 60%, 50%, and you can still sneak out a win. I don't feel like that happens in this league. There's just too much competition, too many good players.
Yeah, I don't think there've been a lot of the 50% wins this season. But speaking about your team, the Tyranitar plus Articuno like wheel pick, that was actually something I was looking at in my spot as well, because I thought they were both decent values where they ended up. So how have you enjoyed those two Pokemon in particular, and how have they really worked on your team?
I've enjoyed them a lot. I think Tyranitar I thought might be hard to use without the right team, and I think I have an okay team to support it, but I've been pretty satisfied with it. I've been very satisfied with Articuno, though. I feel like it's been a big part of my last 2 wins. So initially when I drafted the team, my plan was to get Tyranitar, Gourgeist, and Articuno as my first 3 picks. So I thought I had great synergy, and I think just alone Articuno and Tyranitar have great synergy.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing sort of a meme-ish Lugia team with Tyranitar and Excadrill in Series 8? It had
One Dynamax? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was playing that, and I was like,
Dynamax.
you know what? Articuno is, it's also a Psychic and Flying type, synergizes well type-wise with Tyranitar, and it gets competitive, so it seemed like a super good combo. I really enjoyed playing those two. I'm glad I was able to snag those, and you didn't take them from me. I've had fun with them.
Yeah, you're lucky. A couple Pokemon that I liked dropped a bit farther than I think they should have. So a lot of your play, you've been really creative with your sets, I think, like both here and in other leagues. Do you think that creativity is one of your strong suits as a player, or do you think that the creativity comes because you sort of are able to recognize, like, okay, in these standard sets, this is what I can play well with, and this is the little flair I can add on top of it? Like, where do you start in your prepping process?
Where do I start with my prep? I think I usually start out with just a few good Pokemon that I think, like, looking at the matchup, which Pokemon have to come. What do I need? Do I need this Pokemon specifically to counter this? Is their primary combo going to be too strong? Do I have to bring this mon? Like, which mons am I going to... Do I just have to bring in that kind of starts my core, whatever? I don't know. As far as bringing sort of weird sets, I feel like it's sort of methodical how you... Like, you want to bring... Like, you have your prep, and then your opponent has their prep. And your prep can be only so strong, and their prep can only be so strong. But if you're also counter prepping, so if I'm bringing something that they don't expect, it's like invalidating their prep. But at the same time, if I'm bringing something really weird that's situational, and it itself isn't that strong, and is it really worth invalidating their prep to bring this weird thing that's not even that good? So then you're like finding that balance of like what's worth bringing or not. And that's what I try to consider. I don't know a lot. I feel like a lot of little things go into my prep. But I definitely like the aspect of trying to anticipate what my opponent will anticipate out of me, take advantage of that. Sometimes I overlook that and try to like over anticipate, and then I go for these big plays, thinking my opponent's going to be reading into me, and then they don't, and I just lose. But
Right.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, looking at your last 4 weeks, you probably need to go at least 3-1 to have a shot at the playoffs. I'm gonna ask sort of another two-parter. Is there a matchup you're most excited about and a matchup you're most nervous about over the last 4 weeks?
Let's see. You might have to jog my memory on who I even play. I know I played Dina. This week.
Chaos Knight Rider, Izzy Max, And I can't remember your last opponent off the top of my head. Let me see if I can pull that one up. But
Oh, I wanna say it's Charles, but I
it
can't.
might be Charles. Yeah, let me pull you up really quickly. Yes, your last opponent is, yeah, it's Charles.
Okay. Man. It's like the players in this league range from like very good to extremely good. And I don't even know who is who. Um, like looking like I will say I think Dina's team is very scary. It's scarier than I thought it would be. Um, but I took a slight. I only took a slight look into it because I do play her this upcoming week. But she's got some really good type synergy on her team. Like it looks very straightforward at first, but then she just seems like she has so many good options. If she, I don't know, it's just strong stuff that's really hard to play safely against. And then I think Knight Rider recently got the Dragapult, and he looked really good against auto. So, gives him a nice hyper offensive option on his team. It's really, I don't know. There's things I am scared of about all these matchups. I would probably say, I don't know. Knight Rider's just been the he seems very strong so far. Maybe he's my pick for the
Most nervous.
most scared against. Maybe
Yep.
might be Dina.
Yep, and then you also can't discount your MBC partner this season. You are playing in the last week of the regular season as well. So
That's another thing is he, as we've been chatting, he knows kind of how I think, and I'm learning how he thinks. So I have no idea what that one just feels like a wild card matchup to me.
yeah, I just had that experience
idea.
this week with Charles.
Oh yeah.
So it was definitely unique because we'd be in. I'd have two prep documents up. One, I'm chatting with Charles, like, you think we need to bring X, Y, and Z, and the others, I'm like, okay, he thinks we need to bring X, Y, and Z. What does that mean about how he thinks about our
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't like this move. Oh, then he's probably not going to bring it against me on this mon.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't too much of that because there wasn't a lot of overlap. But it's like, okay, if he thinks this is how we should play Zapdos, how is he going to play Tapu Koko against me? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so there's a little bit of that, like not too much, but it's enough that it makes the process a little bit interesting. But I think that's enough about Pokemon for the bit. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself outside of Pokemon? What do you do? What's your job, or are you going to school for something right now, or what is it that you do?
What do I do? I work for a biotech company, and I do tech support for them. So I support like lab techs. I talk to lab technicians all day and help them not break their lab equipment. That's pretty much what I do. I'm 29. I went to school for neuroscience, but I got an undergrad in neuroscience, but I never went to grad school. But I'd rather pursue the things, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, that's what I do for work. Science background. Yeah.
So between you and Goober, who's the older sibling? Who's the younger sibling?
I'm the older sibling. He's the more mature sibling.
He's the more mature sibling. Okay.
Potential.
I think that happens from time to time, I guess. So besides Pokemon, what other like hobbies do you have to get off your mind from work?
Let's see. Main hobbies are play guitar, do a little singing, songwriting, that type of thing. I guess I still am in a band. I was in like a 4-piece band with some guys that we just created our own music and things like that. When the pandemic kind of hit and the lockdown hit, my bassist also had his first kid, so it's very exciting, but kind of,
Right.
I mean, kid, COVID, everybody's, I don't know. So we haven't played in a while. We haven't played a show in like a few years, so, but we did recently start getting together and practicing again, so.
What genre?
Definitely love. I struggle to say. Um, I like, we're all like self-taught musicians. None of us are very. We're all definitely self-taught.
Hmm.
I mean, our bassist likes alternative stuff and metal, and our drummers like sort of I'd say a similar style to like John Bonham, just like loud and very full drummer. Um, then I like playing a little bit of funk, a little bit of folk, a little bit of jazz type of stuff, or jazz. I don't play real jazz. I just play jazz chords. But I don't know. Some people say it's sort of like a psychedelic sort of indie rock. I don't know. I have no idea how to describe it.
All right, so a little bit of everything. Absolutely.
No idea.
Got it. All right, but you were
A little bit of nothing.
a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of je ne sais quoi. So beyond the music, I think you were going into a couple ones before I asked you to describe the indescribable. So beyond the music, what else was there hobby wise?
Um, well, I do some dancing. I like to do swing dancing. I got into that in
Hmm.
college, and I've been trying to learn other forms of it, like some hip hop stuff. That I sort of neglected for a couple years as well, and I've been trying to get back into that stuff. I just think it's fun. Um, I also have. I mean, I want to say like traveling's a hobby, but is that really a hobby? Everybody likes that. I have like a transit bus. It's like an airport bus that I bought like what 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been trying to fix that up into like a semi RV type of thing, so I can just take
Very
off
cool.
and be a traveling draft league player. It's the dream.
It's the
Yeah,
dream.
so I guess those are probably my main things, like music, dancing, and that. Sure, like some other things.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Where are some of your favorite places you've traveled to?
um, I actually went out of the country for my first time last year. To Tulum, Mexico. It was pretty fun.
Mm.
I enjoyed it a lot. I was there for a couple weeks. I have a lot of places on my radar. Um, I mean, as far as the U.S., I really like Seattle. New York City is obviously very cool if you have money. Um, Smoky was so pretty cool. Glacier National Park in Montana is awesome. Um, let's see. I don't know. I've been to several places. I've been to let's see, Florida, California, Colorado. I guess not a million places, but
Right.
um,
When you were in
yeah.
Tulum, did you get to explore any of the what is it Mayan ruins that are around the area?
Yeah. I saw Chichen Itza, and then we stopped in like a Mayan village, which was really cool.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that was really awesome. And like the tour guide we had, like he was awesome. He was hilarious, and he told us all about like a lot of the Mayan culture and like the mythology and stuff. And that was really interesting. I enjoyed that a lot. I mean, I thought I would enjoy it, but I enjoyed it exponentially more than I thought I would. Um,
Always a good feeling.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I highly recommend doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure when you've been traveling, you've been able to try a lot of, like interesting foods. Do you consider yourself a bit of a foodie, or do you have like a favorite, uh,
Yeah,
almost a genre of food, but maybe it's culture of food that is your go-to to try in different places?
I I like I'm a human garbage disposal. I'll eat anything, and think so. When I was in Mexico, I actually tried. I'm always like trying to try new foods. Um, I'm probably more of like an enthusiast than a connoisseur. Like I don't know a lot about food, or I'm not the best cook, but I always want to be adventurous and try new things.
Hmm.
Very big fan of seafood, um, like all kinds. I did try in Mexico. They're called chapulines, I think. Chapulines? Yeah. What is it? I think they're grasshoppers,
Okay,
crickets.
interesting.
I can't remember. Yeah, they had a street vendor with them, and they'd like pour some hot sauce on it and some like squeeze a little lime on it, and then you had a bag of like crickets or grasshoppers. I mean they were good. They're like roasted and salted. Kind of tastes like just like some type of nut.
So you'll
Really
try
good.
anything just about once.
Pretty much, yeah. I think last I tried sea urchin in New York like a few years ago, but I think it was actually prepared wrong because it literally tasted like dish soap. Like it tasted so bad, and
Yeah,
everybody thought it did.
oddly enough, I also have had a bad experience with sea urchin. I wasn't a huge fan of the consistency. It was like not sure if it was supposed to be a liquid or a solid sort of thing. Like it was,
Mm,
it was not my favorite, but everything else at the sushi place was great. So I don't know what it was with it, but sort of off the
so
sea
you're,
urchin recently.
so you're a big food person as well.
Yeah, I try a little bit of everything. Family background has something to do with it as well. Like my grandpa was born in Arizona when it was the territory of Arizona to two Mexican parents, and then my grandma lived large portions of her life in China and India. So
Oh wow.
took a lot of the food culture with her. So weird food and cooking weird food has just sort of been something in my family, and I like to carry on the tradition with that when I can. But
So you didn't grow up just eating like hot dogs?
no, no, we grew up eating like like yellow chicken curry was like at least a monthly staple in the Brown household.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's just stuff like that. I love Indian food. It's probably my top go-to. But I think that wraps up all of the questions I had for you. Do you have anything else that you would like to add before we put a bow on this one?
The only thing I'd like to add is, well, first of all, thank you. This is really cool that you're doing all this and you're running this league because it's a lot of fun. So thanks to you. And I'm sad we didn't get to play. We didn't get to have a beer cup.
Yeah, you're still the holder of the only beer cup unless we both make the playoffs, and then we'll see from there. But I'm sure we'll have a matchup pretty soon, either here or in the VDL. We might count the MVC. I don't know yet. Maybe I have the beer cup currently, but we got a matchup again pretty soon in one of our leagues.
Well, the MBC stands for Mega Beer Cup, I thought.
Yeah, something like that. All right. Well, thank you so much for popping in and joining the interview today. Really enjoyed it, and I'm going to link your channels in the description below. But if you guys enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.